Hey guys, Pieguy Rules here, and a lot of you have been asking me for my opinion on the new Teen Titans show, Teen Titans Go. I'll tell it to you straight. The show is surprisingly good. It's not amazing per se, but it got a few chuckles out of me here and there. It had a few interesting concepts, and hey, you gotta salute a show that did a My Little Pony joke without making fun of bronies. Also, points for the Terra Strong inception going on in there. The animation is bright, bouncy, and goofy, but then again, so is the show. It works for the type of humor that they're going for. It's definitely trying to go with the more old-school idea of what a cartoon is, where things don't always make sense, and you're not supposed to insert logic because it runs on its own cartoon logic. Honestly, the show reminds me a bit of the Powerpuff Girls in that it's about superheroes who save the world, but also derp around a lot, and the focus is a lot more on comedy than it is on action, although there is definitely still action there. Now, I'm not saying the show's as good as the Powerpuff Girls, far from it, but what I am saying is that it is very similar to that in its premise and its way of going about the superhero genre. And hey, there's even an episode about pie. What's not to love about pie? Am I right? Seriously, though, the sandwich episode was a lot better than the pie episode. So, in short, I'm not praising the show. It's not doing anything amazingly original. It's not that funny, but then again, it's not really unfunny, and hey, it's not that bad. I will say, though, if you are surprised to hear me say all of these nice things about the show, you will not be very surprised to hear me say that all of the things that I have just said come with a big however. The show also feels like a big kick in the face. See, before I was judging it as a standalone series without any context. Unfortunately for Teen Titans Go, the entire show is a spin-off. But not just any kind of spin-off, it's the worst possible kind of spin-off. Teen Titans Go is basically Teen Titans Babies. It takes what used to be complex characters, story arcs, and drama, and boils it down into childish random jokes. And there's nothing wrong with childish random jokes, just as long as that's what the show was designed for. And before anyone says, why can't you just enjoy it on its own? Well, the show won't let me. It is explicitly based off of the Teen Titans cartoon. It's not a different interpretation of the comic book characters. This is a show that banks on you having watched the first Teen Titans and tries to capitalize on the success of that show. And that's what makes it also disappointing. They got the original cast back, and this is what they decide to do with it? They could have easily just continued the first Teen Titans series, but nope. Some executive said, hey, remember that show that was applauded for being serious and complex sometimes? Why don't we take that and turn it into a big joke? Because clearly kids don't want story arcs, they just want goofy cartoons. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with goofy cartoons. The first Teen Titans even had some really cartoony episodes, like the Mad Mod episodes and the Mother May I episode. But they also balanced it out with epic story arcs, and that's what made all the jokes and random humor all the funnier. When you add a serious tone, and then you have something completely wacky happen, it is earned and unexpected. In a show like this, where it's a gag a minute, you're obviously expecting a joke to come at you, so it lessens the impact. I see this as a step backwards for Cartoon Network. I mean, it's good they acknowledge that people wanted the Titans back, but it should know by now that more serious stories are not a bad thing and can contrast nicely with the sillier cartoons on the network. Silly cartoons and more serious story arc cartoons can cohabitate. It's not this type of thing where all cartoons need to be super serious now, but people do need to realize that not super serious, but mildly serious cartoons like Avatar: The Last Airbender are huge successes. Kids like the story arcs, kids like the continuity, kids like the occasionally serious tone. But executives and bigwigs don't want to believe the fact that kids can understand and even like these sort of complex shows. They just think, well, kids are stupid, kids are just gonna want stupid jokes all the time. So, all in all, the fact that Teen Titans Go is a spin-off of Teen Titans is actually probably the worst thing it could have going for it, even though that's its biggest marketing ploy. If the show had been about different superheroes, maybe made up superheroes entirely, the show could go on to be something great. But as it stands, for any of us who knew the original Teen Titans, this is just a big slap in the face. It's like, hey guys, we got all the original components of that thing you loved, but we kind of arranged them in the wrong order, and we're missing a few key elements that we could have totally gotten, but decided not to. But hey, maybe if you've never seen the original Teen Titans, and you're able to truly look at this Teen Titans Go through fresh eyes, not filtering it through the fact that the other series existed, then maybe you'll enjoy it, and maybe it will be a success. But As I see it, a lot of people really dislike this because Teen Titans was a big part of their childhood, and this is Teen Titans babies. Alright guys, that's about it for this time. So, do Teen Titans go? I say Teen Titans no. Pieguy rules, out.